What if there was a book that not only described demons, but revealed the hidden gears of the human soul? What if these so-called spirits were, in fact, symbolic mirrors of everything we deny, fear, and secretly desire? In this video, we open the pages of the Goetia, not as a manual of invocations, but as an initiatory map. What is at stake here is not merely occult knowledge, it is your relationship with the forces that shape your mind, your emotions, and your reality. Like this video, share it with fellow seekers, and above all, prepare yourself. Because once you cross this veil, you will not return the same. Before we continue, I'd like to recommend two books for deeper study. Goetia, The Greater Key of Solomon, The Clavicle of Solomon's Secrets, by Aleister Crowley and Rika Charlotto. At the beating heart of Western magical tradition lies a grimoire shrouded in mystery, revered and feared in equal measure, the Goetia. Part of the legendary Lemegeton Clavicula Salomonis, or simply Lemegeton, this manuscript is not merely a catalogue of entities. It is a compendium translating symbols, archetypes, and ancestral forces dwelling at the core of the human psyche. To truly understand it, one must abandon the literal gaze that seeks only factual descriptions of supernatural beings. The Goetia is, above all, an archetypal language, a treatise on the different levels of consciousness, and a key to the inner labyrinths the rational mind often avoids. Its attribution to the mythical King Solomon, famed for his wisdom and dominion over hidden forces, is no accident. In Hermetic symbolism, Solomon embodies the ideal magician, one who integrates the divine and the earthly, light and shadow, conscious and unconscious. The Ring of Solomon, by which he supposedly commanded these entities, symbolizes the disciplined will and superior knowledge required to master both inner and outer forces. But what are these spirits truly? Names like Baal, Paimon, Astaroth, Bur. In esoteric tradition, they are not merely external beings, astral creatures, or demons as popular culture tends to label them. Instead, they represent vibrations, intelligences, and fragments of the psyche, guardians of inner secrets that must be acknowledged, confronted, and integrated. This concept aligns with the theories of Carl Gustav Jung, who spoke of autonomous complexes and archetypes inhabiting our collective unconscious. Through this lens, the spirits of the Goetia function as symbolic manifestations of repressed emotions, fears, passions, and creative potentials shaping the human experience. The very word Goetia comes from the ancient Greek goetia, meaning enchantment or sorcery, yet its true power transcends magical manipulation. It forces us to confront what lies beyond logic and ordinary consciousness, entering the realm of images, myths, and primal emotions. At its essence, the Goetia is a ritual mirror. Every name, every seal, every invocation is a code granting access to a psychic archetype, a portal into inner dimensions where light and shadow intertwine, and where the potential for profound transformation resides. This mirror reflects not only who we are, but also what we fear to become, what we crave, and what we deny. In the Lesser Key of Solomon, Bar Lemegeton, particularly the Ars Goetia, we find detailed descriptions of these spirits, their functions and hierarchies, functioning far more as metaphors of inner dominion than as literal accounts. In analytical psychology, Jung treated magic and ritual as symbolic manifestations giving form to the unconscious, facilitating its integration. Within Hermetic tradition, the Goetia represents the solar and lunar aspects of the human soul, the struggle between the conscious sun and the unconscious moon, between rational control and primordial chaos. Working with these symbols, the magician embarks on an alchemical journey where the lead of darkened impulses is transmuted into the gold of wisdom. Imagine a vast occult map of the human psyche, a territory where every shadow and clearing represents a powerful primal force, often unknown or rejected. That is precisely what the 72 names of the Goetia symbolize. Each name carries a complex hierarchy: kings, dukes, presidents, marquises, not as titles of a distant astral kingdom, but as vivid metaphors of the inner structures governing the psychological world. From Jung's perspective, these spirits can be seen as autonomous complexes, emotional and symbolic structures with their own energy and capacity to influence our thoughts, behaviors, and emotions without our full awareness. They are like small psychic kingdoms operating under their own laws, which, if left unintegrated, may dominate the individual, creating inner conflict, imbalance, and suffering. In esoteric language, these names are also seen as egregores, collective entities formed by human belief and energy, yet symbolically representing living forces within humanity's collective unconscious. When one evokes such an entity, Baal, the first spirit listed, described as a king with multiple faces, one is not merely calling an external being. One is lighting a lantern in the darkness of one's own being, illuminating forgotten, repressed, or hidden aspects of the self. Visualize the Goetia as an alchemical chessboard, where the magician is both player and piece. The seals, with their geometric and enigmatic forms, are the game pieces representing these inner forces. To play this game is to confront both chaos and order within the mind, a process demanding courage, discipline, and self-knowledge. Each seal is a key to a psychic aspect: passion, ambition, fear, wisdom, desire, or power. In invoking them, the practitioner opens dialogue with these forces, able to transform them or be consumed by them. The occultist Aleister Crowley understood goetic spirits not as independent beings, but as expressions of the magician's own mind, projected and mastered through conscious will. For him, mastering these inner forces was essential to self-mastery. Jung likewise taught that individuation, the process of becoming whole, requires bringing such complexes to light, giving them voice and integration, so the individual is no longer enslaved by unconscious shadows. The Goetia is a crossroads, a multifaceted portal offering not one, but 3 distinct keys to understanding and practicing this ancestral art. Each path reveals a different face of the same hidden truth, a journey that may be ritual, psychological, or contemplative. Classical ceremonial, the mastery of the invisible. Here lies the most well-known and most rigorous path. In the classical ceremonial approach, the Goetia is treated as a precise science and art, where every gesture, word, and symbol carries weight and power. The magician becomes a maestro, conducting an invisible orchestra, manifestation triangles inscribed on the floor, protective circles raised as magical fortresses, and words of power spoken with absolute authority. Every ritual is a pact, not a mere invitation. The magician does not bow to the entity, but compels it to serve his clear and disciplined will. Psychomagic Luciferian, the mirror of the shadow. For a moment, forget what you've heard about Lucifer. Do not think of him as the cultural Satan, but as an archetype within each human being. The morning star, the light bringer, A consciousness which, when met sincerely and without prejudice, acts as a key to self-discovery. In this path, the Goetia becomes a powerful tool of psychological unveiling, popularized by contemporary occultists like Michael Ford. This approach sees the spirits not as external beings, but as manifestations of the deep unconscious. Each spirit is a repressed shadow, an unrecognized potential, a fragment of the self crying for integration. To evoke these demons is to confront what we deny. Traumas, desires, fears, instincts. The Luciferian seeker does not submit to dogma, but seeks individual ascent through radical acceptance of both light and shadow. Jung defined the shadow as the hidden side of personality, where all rejected aspects of the self dwell. To integrate the shadow is the essential step toward individuation. Here, ritual is internal, a symbolic dance between consciousness and unconscious. The Goetia becomes a path of self-mastery, where each invocation is both challenge and opportunity for transcendence. In the third path, the Goetia transforms into a contemplative, silent practice. The seals are not invoked for outer manifestations, but contemplated as vibrational yantras, mandalas aligning the practitioner with specific cosmic frequencies. This work is subtle, inward, profound. Each seal is a step on an invisible staircase ascending to higher levels of the soul. The altar is the mind, the triangle, the heart, the manifestation, the essence itself. Hermeticists, Kabbalists, and spiritual alchemists find here a path of integration and meditation, where power comes not from manipulation, but from harmonization. Meditation with symbols, found in Tantra, Kabbalah, and Hermeticism, shows that vibrational contact with sacred imagery can profoundly transform consciousness. These three paths do not compete. They coexist, complement, and interweave. The Goetia is, above all, a multifaceted mirror. If you view it as ritual, you are dealing with energy and conscious intention. If you view it as psychomagic, you are dialoguing with your deep unconscious. If you embrace it as contemplative, we are elevating your soul toward the cosmos. Each approach refines consciousness differently, and together they compose the alchemy of inner transformation. The seals of the Goetia are not ornamental icons or random esoteric drawings. They are complex systems of vibrational transmission, encoded in symbolic forms that speak directly to the deep unconscious. Every curve, every crossing line, every form carries a living geometry, an archetypal structure that bypasses rational intellect and penetrates subtler layers of the psyche. In Hermetic tradition, symbols are bridges between worlds. The goetic seals function as Western yantras, meditative diagrams condensing the essence of archetypal intelligences. To contemplate them is not merely looking at something external. It is allowing that symbolic frequency to vibrate within you. Carl Jung explained that archetypes are inherited symbolic patterns shaping our inner experience. They do not speak in words, but in images, emotions, and intuitions. And that is exactly where the seals act. Michael Ford, in his Luciferian writings, describes seals as psychic catalysts, awakening dormant aspects of the practitioner, as if unlocking hidden chambers of the mind. That is why seals are more dangerous than words. Words pass through reason. Seals do not. They access the unconscious directly, where instincts, traumas, repressed desires, and primordial creative forces dwell. A forgotten memory rises, a creative impulse explodes, a hidden fear surfaces. The seals awaken what is latent, and what emerges is not always what you wish to see. Thus, working with seals requires more than curiosity. It demands inner preparation, silence, clear intention, and above all, humility before the unknown. They are like inkblot mirrors. You see what vibrates within you, and the deeper you gaze, the deeper what responds from the other side. Their technology is not digital, it is vibrational. They operate by resonance, and what you activate does not come from outside. It comes from the depths of your own being. Here begins true magic. The true work with the Goetia is not in invocation, but in what happens afterward. For once the spirit is evoked, it becomes a mirror. And what was once symbol now stares back at you. The Goetia is, in this sense, a rite of passage, a portal between the before and the after of the initiatory soul. Those who approach the Goetia seeking external power quickly discover that the true challenge is inner power. To dominate a spirit is easy compared to dominating desire itself. The true magician does not command entities, he commands himself. To evoke a daemon is, in essence, to evoke a forgotten, denied, or repressed part of oneself. It is like calling forth an ancient wound, a hidden fear, a latent potency, and asking it to reveal itself. It is a pact, yes, but not with external demons, with one's most uncomfortable truth. And like every initiatory rite, this process has two paths: to transform or to be consumed. Those who understand transmute shadow into light. Those who do not become food for their own darkness. That is why the ancients warned, if you do not yet know who you are. The Goetia is not merely a grimoire. It is a mirror, a map, an abyss. And those who dare to walk it must be willing to lose comfort in order to gain vision. The true magician does not fear the entities of the Goetia. He recognizes them because he has already seen them within himself. Like, share, and stay awake. Until the next video, architects.